The afternoon sun filtered through the hospital window, casting a warm golden glow across the pediatric ward. Sarah Matthews adjusted her blue scrubs and smoothed back her blonde hair as she prepared for another shift. The hospital corridors were quiet, save for the gentle hum of machinery and the soft footsteps of nurses making their rounds. Sarah had been working at Children's Memorial Hospital for 3 years now. The pay wasn't much, but she couldn't imagine doing anything else. Every day brought new challenges, new faces, and new opportunities to make a difference in young lives. Her modest apartment was sparse, furnished with hand-me-downs and thrift store finds, but it was home. As she walked down the hallway, Sarah's fingers brushed against a small green doll tucked safely in her scrubs pocket. It was her most treasured possession, a tiny cloth doll with yarn hair and a bright green dress that her grandmother had sewn for her when she was just 5 years old. The doll had been her constant companion through childhood, a source of comfort during difficult times, and now it served as her good luck charm during long hospital shifts. The doll was showing its age. The fabric had faded from years of love and handling, and one of the button eyes had been replaced with a mismatched one. But to Sarah, it was perfect. It reminded her of her grandmother's gentle hands and the stories they used to share together before bedtime. Today, however, something felt different. Sarah paused outside room 314, where a new patient had been admitted earlier that morning. According to the chart, 80-year-old Emma was suffering from a severe case of pneumonia. The little girl had been alone since her arrival, and Sarah's heart ached, thinking about how frightened she must be feeling. Taking a deep breath, Sarah knocked softly on the door before entering. The room was dimly lit, with only the bedside lamp casting a circle of warm light. In the bed lay a small figure with brown hair spread across the pillow, her breathing labored but steady. The monitors beeped quietly, tracking her vital signs. Hello, sweetheart, Sarah whispered, approaching the bed with careful steps. I'm Sarah, your nurse. How are you feeling? Emma's eyes fluttered open, revealing tired but alert brown eyes. She looked so small in the large hospital bed, dwarfed by the white linens and medical equipment surrounding her. I'm okay, she whispered, though her voice was weak and strained. Sarah pulled up a chair beside the bed, her heart breaking at the sight of this brave little girl facing illness alone. Are you comfortable? Do you need anything? Emma shook her head slightly, but Sarah could see the loneliness in her eyes. Where are your parents, honey? Are they coming to visit? My daddy had to work, Emma said quietly. He said he'd try to come later, but he's always very busy. There was no sadness in her voice, just acceptance, as if she was used to being alone. Sarah felt a familiar tug in her chest. She had seen this before, children whose parents were stretched thin, trying to balance work and caring for a sick child. Never got easier to witness as the evening wore on. Sarah found herself returning to Emma's room more frequently than necessary. She brought extra blankets, adjusted the pillows, and even sat with Emma during her dinner. Though the little girl could barely manage a few spoonfuls of soup. I wish I had my stuffed animals, Emma mentioned softly as Sarah was checking her temperature. They're at home, but they always make me feel better when I'm scared. Sarah's hand instinctively moved to her pocket, where the little green doll rested. She thought about her grandmother's words from long ago. Sometimes the best medicine is knowing someone cares. Without hesitation, Sarah pulled out the doll. Would you like to meet my friend? Sarah asked, holding up the small figure. Her name is Hope. She's been with me for a very long time, and she's helped me through many difficult days. Emma's eyes widened with wonder. She's beautiful, she whispered, reaching out tentatively to touch the doll's green dress. Would you like to keep her company tonight? Sarah asked, gently placing the doll in Emma's small hands. Sometimes it helps to have a friend nearby when you're not feeling well. Emma clutched the doll to her chest, and for the first time since her arrival, Sarah saw a genuine smile cross the little girl's face. Thank you, she whispered. I'll take good care of her. Sarah tucked the blankets around Emma and the doll, her heart full despite the sacrifice. I know you will, sweetheart. Sweet dreams. The next morning, Sarah arrived at work to find an unexpected scene in Emma's room. A tall man in an expensive suit was sitting beside the bed, holding Emma's hand while she slept. The little green doll was still clutched in her other arm. The man looked up as Sarah entered, and she was surprised to see tears in his eyes. Are you Sarah? He asked quietly. Yes, I'm Emma's nurse, she replied, puzzled by his presence. I'm David Reynolds, Emma's father, he said, standing to shake her hand. I came as soon as I could get away from the office. Emma told me about your kindness last night, about the doll you gave her. I can't thank you enough. Sarah felt her cheeks warm. It was nothing, really. She just needed something to comfort her. David shook his head. It was everything. Do you know what she told me? She said that for the first time in the hospital, she felt like someone really cared about her. Not just about making her better, but about making her feel better. As they talked, Sarah learned that David was the CEO of a major corporation in the city. He had been in the middle of crucial business negotiations when Emma had fallen ill, and he had struggled to balance his responsibilities with being there for his daughter. The guilt in his voice was evident as he spoke. I've been so focused on providing for her future that I forgot about providing for her present, he admitted. Seeing that doll, knowing that someone else showed her the kindness I should have been here to give, it changed everything. Emma stirred in her sleep, and both adults turned their attention to her. The little green doll remained securely in her arms, a bridge between a struggling nurse's generous heart and a father's awakening priorities. Over the following days, as Emma recovered, David made sure to spend every possible moment at her bedside. He brought work to the hospital, conducted meetings by phone, and learned to put his daughter first. Sarah watched this transformation with quiet satisfaction, knowing that sometimes the smallest gestures create the biggest changes. When Emma was finally discharged, healthy and happy, she insisted on returning the doll to Sarah. She belongs with you, Emma said solemnly. But maybe she can visit me sometimes. Sarah smiled, accepting her old friend back. I think that can be arranged. As the Reynolds family prepared to leave, David approached Sarah one final time. I've been thinking about what you did and I realize I can never truly repay your kindness, but I'd like to try. Would you consider accepting a scholarship to finish your nursing degree? Emma suggested it, actually. She said you told her that you'd always wanted to become a pediatric nurse practitioner. Sarah's eyes filled with tears. She had mentioned that dream to Emma during one of their late-night conversations, never imagining it would lead to this moment. Sometimes, David continued, the smallest acts of kindness create the biggest changes in our lives. You gave Emma hope when she needed it most. Now I'd like to give you the same gift. Sarah looked down at the little green doll in her hands, then back at the father and daughter who had changed her life as much as she had changed. In that moment, she understood that her grandmother had been right all along. Sometimes the best medicine truly is knowing someone cares. The doll seemed to smile up at her, as if approving of the beautiful circle of kindness that had brought them all together. And in the warm afternoon light streaming through the hospital windows, Sarah knew that hope, like love, always finds a way to multiply when shared.